Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to plunge into the stories and trends that matter, really giving you the insights you need.
That's right.
And today, we've got something pretty special. We're looking at the intersection of really cutting-edge tech and classic art, specifically Holthinrichs signature watches. Our source material today really digs into how this brand hasn't just, used 3D printing, but actually evolved with it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story. It's not just, oh, here's a brand using a new technique.
Right.
It's more about how a company builds its whole identity around a technology that's changing super fast. You have to adapt constantly.
Really interesting, yeah.
And we're going to unpack how Holthinrichs has done that, how they've pushed things technically and artistically.
Absolutely. So that's our mission today.
Yeah.
Really get under the hood of the Holthinrichs signature collection. What are the specific steps forward? What's the design thinking?
What makes them tick, essentially?
Exactly. Why does this mix of industrial innovation and old school art feel so compelling? We'll look at the brand's path, the design choices, the cases, the dials.
Even the movement, which has an interesting story itself.
Okay, let's unpack this. Here's where it gets really interesting. So fundamentally, Holthinrichs equals 3D printing. It's been their core from day one, right?
Absolutely. It wasn't just a manufacturing choice, it was the brand.
But I mean, building your whole company around a tech that's still kind of new and changing all the time, that's got to be tough.
Oh, definitely. Huge challenges, but also huge opportunities. It forces you to be nimble, to be agile.
And you'd say they've really shown that agility.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
What's impressive is how they haven't just, adopted the tech, but they've grown with it, matured alongside it.
How so?
Well, you can see clear progress. As 3D printing gets better, their capabilities expand. Compare their earlier stuff, like the raw ornament, to this new signature collection.
Oh, okay.
The evolution is, well, it's obvious. It's a brand really moving in step with its main tool.
So speaking of that evolution, can you give an example? What was it maybe harder for them early on with 3D printing, and what can they do now? Maybe with shapes or finishing?
Sure. Well, early on, 3D printing was amazing for complex shapes, but getting super fine details or really smooth surfaces right off the printer, that was harder.
Right.
The raw finish they became known for, it was distinct, yeah, but maybe partly necessary. It was that kind of untouched, almost sandblasted look.
Okay.
But as the tech improved, better lasers, better material science, especially with grade 5 titanium, they could suddenly print more intricate stuff and control the surface way better.
Ah, I see.
That opened the door for more refined finishes, smoother lines, basically enabling new design directions.
And that technical improvement directly led to new artistic possibilities, didn't it?
Mhm.
It allowed for a really significant shift in design.
Exactly.
With the signature collection, they move away from that 1920s Art Deco look to the geometric shapes they used before,
Which was quite prominent, yeah.
and they embrace turn-of-the-century Art Nouveau. Much more organic, flowing lines.
Mm-hmm.
What does Art Nouveau actually bring to a watch design? How's it different?
That's a great question. Art Deco is all about symmetry, angles, celebrating machines.
Right, very geometric.
Art Nouveau is. It's nature. Flowing lines, plants, curves. Think less rigid geometry and more like vines or flowing water. For a watch, it means the case isn't just a circle or square. It feels more alive, graceful, continuous lines. It brings a fluidity, a softness that Art Deco just doesn't have.
So connecting this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it's technology enabling art that maybe wasn't really practical before, at least not for high-precision cases like this.
Precisely.
Holthinrichs often uses architectural language for their designs, right?
They do.
And this Art Nouveau style fits perfectly with those better 3D printing capabilities you mentioned. They can now make these complex organic forms.
That's the key, Art Nouveau's complexity.
Yeah.
It's tough for traditional watchmaking, machining, stamping.
Yeah.
They have limits, but with advanced 3D printing, you design it in software, this intricate flowing shape, and then you basically grow it, layer by tiny layer.
Right.
It gets rid of the old constraints. You can do undercuts, continuous curves, integrated bits that you just couldn't mill or cast easily. It's a real step forward in bringing this historical style into modern watches.
And when you actually see the cases on these signature watches, I mean, they're just stunning.
They really are.
3D printed grade 5 titanium. So they're light, strong, and just sculptural. The dimensions are quite wearable too. 38.5 millimeter across, 46 millimeter lug to lug, only 9.85 millimeter thick.
Very manageable specs.
So it sits well on the wrist, feels light, But honestly, wearability is just the start, the way the light hits those curves.
It's dynamic, and
Yeah.
the inspiration is broader than just Art Nouveau. The source mentions early 20th century cars.
Cars, really?
Yeah, specifically the pontoon fenders of old Bugattis. You know those sweeping, almost separate wheel arches on classic luxury cars?
Oh, okay, I think I can picture that. Those elegant, curvy shapes.
Exactly. Translating that kind of curve to a watch lug, it merges that automotive style with the watch design, gives it this flowing, almost aerodynamic feel.
That's a great visual. And the finishing really plays up those shapes. They use brushing, polishing, and that unique raw finish.
Right, the signature Holthinrichs texture.
Which is basically the untouched 3D printed surface,
Yeah.
giving it that frosted look. But what's key here, as we touched on, is it's less rough than before.
Yeah, it shows refinement.
Shows they've really dialed in their process, right?
It does. It shows they're mastering the tech, not just using it. They're choosing how much raw texture to leave. It's deliberate.
Interesting.
And the case structure itself is clever. That concave bevel with the polished edge, it almost looks like it's floating.
How do they do that?
It's the way the case band underneath is more convex, and there's this little gap where the lugs sweep up from the base. Creates visual tension.
Yeah.
Like tiny architecture.
Exactly. And it's not just art, it's practical too. Pull-out crown, domed sapphire crystal,
Yeah.
50 meters water resistance. Makes it genuinely wearable every day. Now, 50 meters with a pull-out crown. Some watch folks might raise an eyebrow compared to a screw down,
Sure.
but I guess it suggests they're confident in the case seal and maybe didn't want a screw-down crown messing with those clean Art Nouveau lines.
That's likely the calculation. A screw-down crown adds bulk, interrupts the flow. They're banking on the integrity of the 3D-printed titanium and the gasket system to hit 50 meters while keeping the aesthetic pure.
Makes sense. It's a balance.
It is, and even the details reinforce it. Curved end Epsom leather straps and the tang clasps are 3D printed too, with the brand signature in relief.
Wow, even the clasp.
Ties it all together. It really makes the point that the form is exceptional. Maybe not everyone's cup of tea, stylistically.
That's distinctive.
Very, but the artistic merit, the coherence of it as a wearable sculpture, undeniable.
Okay, let's move inside. The dials. Two main choices in the Signature series, and they offer really different looks for that same case.
Yeah, the frosted metal and the Delft blue.
Let's start with the frosted metal. The source seemed quite taken with its texture and depth.
It's quite complex.
It's got this three-level thing going on. The base is textured metal. You can get it in rose gold, yellow gold, white rhodium, black rhodium.
Lots of options.
Then, floating just above that is a slightly domed sapphire bit with the brand name and minute track printed on it.
Creates a cool separation.
And then the top layer is the hour ring. Brushed markers with loom coming out of an outer ring that has that raw finish again.
Ties back to the case finish.
Right? In new signature hands. The source mentioned the loom was surprisingly good, bright, and even. Why is good loom important on a dial this complex?
Well, precisely because it's complex. With all those layers and textures, you need good loom for it to be readable in the dark. Otherwise, it just becomes a mess.
Ah, good
The
quality.
fact they nailed the loom shows they're thinking about function too, not just looks. And that depth, the texture, it really draws you in. It's like a tiny landscape on your wrist. The Art Nouveau feel carries through here too.
And then there's the Delft Blue dial. Totally different feeling. Very elegant, super readable.
Classic look.
It's a direct nod to that famous blue on white Dutch pottery, right? From Delft, where the brand is based.
Yeah, a nice local connection.
We get a clean white ceramic base, glossy finish, and then these blue Breguet-style numerals printed on top. They designed those numerals in-house, apparently.
Breguet numerals are always elegant. Those flowing classic number.
Yeah, timeless. And it's got matching blue signature hands with a brushed finish. No loom on this one, though.
Which, given the style, makes sense. It's more of a dressy, classical look. Loom might almost feel out of place.
The source didn't seem to mind.
Right. So this raises that interesting question. How do these two dials work with that really sculptural case?
Yeah, how do they interact?
The Delft Blue being simpler, maybe less dimensional, it kind of balances the case's complexity. It provides this calm, clean surface that lets the case shape really sing.
Whereas the frosted metal almost echoes the case's texture and depth.
Exactly. The frosted metal dial enhances that sculptural quality, while the Delft Blue offers contrast, a different kind of sophistication. It gives you choices for how you want the overall watch to feel.
Okay, so now let's talk about the engine. What's powering these? There's been a change here.
Sure has.
They moved from the hand-wound ETA 7001, which is in the older raw ornament,
Solid movement.
to a Swiss automatic Sellita SW300 in the signature. Now, technically, that sounds like an upgrade, right? Automatic winding, longer power reserve, 56 hours versus 42.
And a higher beat rate, 28,800 VPH for a smoother sweep.
Plus, a custom rotor. They say it looks like a sunrise, inspired by Art Nouveau again.
Okay, so here's where it gets a bit nuanced, and where the source offered some thoughtful critique.
Oh.
Yes, technically the SW300 is an upgrade in specs. Automatic, longer reserve, higher beat rate, all good things. But the source felt something might be lost visually, artistically. That old ETA 7001, Holthinrichs customized the bridges. They were finished to actually mirror the 3D printed case pattern.
Yeah.
That's really going the extra mile for visual integration. It connected the movement directly to the case aesthetic.
Okay, I see the point.
Custom rotors are nice, and this one sounds thematic, but they're much more common in the industry. It's not quite the same level of deep, bespoke integration as customizing the bridges. And apparently the case back itself is maybe a little less impressive on the signature. Less deep engraving, no polished letters like the raw ornament had.
Interesting trade-off.
It makes you think about that balance, you know?
Yeah.
Technical specs versus integrated artistry. The Sellita is better on paper in some ways, but did they lose a bit of that unique visual storytelling that the customized ETA offered? It's a brand choice.
That's a really insightful point. It shows the layers of thinking involved. So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway from the Holthinrichs signature? The source seems clear. These watches prove 3D printing belongs in serious watchmaking.
Absolutely. It's not just a curiosity anymore.
It's a viable, high-level manufacturing method.
And I think this is the crucial bit. These watches would be great watches even if they weren't 3D printed.
Ah, that's cute.
It means the tech isn't a gimmick they're leaning on. It's a tool, a sophisticated one they've mastered, that lets them achieve designs they couldn't otherwise. It shows maturity both for the tech and the brand.
And this capability comes at a certain price point, right? These aren't inexpensive.
No, they're positioned as premium independent pieces. You mentioned the limited signature Elab editions too, with things like handmade patina dials. Those are often quite sought after.
Only 30 pieces for that one.
And the standard models, the signature ornament at €3,750, the Delft Blue at $3,999. That puts them firmly in the serious collector territory.
Yeah.
But it reflects the value placed on this blend of cutting-edge manufacturing and unique artistic design. They're playing in the same league as other respected independents, not just banking on the tech novelty.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the Holthinrichs signature collection. Just incredible to see how they've merged this evolving 3D printing tech with the beauty of Art Nouveau.
It really is.
They've definitely carved out a unique niche where innovation and art meet in a really compelling way.
And these watches, they really make you think, don't they? They challenge how we see traditional craft versus modern making.
How so?
Well, it leads to the question, how else will this approach, using advanced tech, not as a shortcut, but as a way to unlock totally new aesthetic possibilities? How will that keep redefining luxury and design, not just in watches, but maybe in other fields too?
That's a great final thought. How does this mix of old and new, tech and tradition, change your ideas about design and innovation? Something definitely worth pondering after our deep dive today.